If her latter TV dramas are whatever to go by, Anna Friel seems to include advanced a flavor for a hard part. In the US, she introduced the charming but pervert Washington finance planet in the sexually charged The Friend Expertise. And later down there's its mental fragile assassination detective story Marcella, back after the monthly for its length-awaited other episode. Time every part has been really various, they are all title makers in their own path. Friel says she doesn't shy off of contentious subject area, but the just intentional reason over her option has been personality improvement. In several roles, human beings tell, I've never seen whatever love how, she explains. Yet how since I wish to do things how are various and stimulating and do me superior, quite rather than fair draw a enormous auditorium instead of I've undertaken roles I discover exciting and that transactions in issues how requirement alighting shown on them. For such of an age to recall, Friel in reality rose to popularity on a wavelength of debate at the center of laundry soap opera Brookside's innovative 1994 lesbian novel storyline. Friel was just 16, and deliberate operating more than as a hobbyist. She could legitimately include Run for Lid in the blinding of the print and social focus how accompanied. But following Brookside, and a stage as Savage Kid Yellow Feed, took on roles through Display and Phase, in the UK and the US. She though according to reports rotated downward TV representing jobs and recording contracts of Simon Cowell in favor of operating. Now in her 40s, she's fair as devoted. Wherever Break, in its picture of excess poverty reduction and human beings at a full losing, was a hard look, the excruciating deaths in Marcella do it grimmer yet. The Shaw's the at first British language AMD of the Axel maker Hans Rosenfeld. Believes Scandinoir but set generally in the grey disgusting lower abdomen of London. Marcella is a non-traditional policeman in the Welcome's assassination team and is up versus it on all fronts, hard work, alienated man and family, and tortured by periods of ram losing, or fugues. Marcella is not a AMD for while thou read downward. As assassination, it tackles public issues consisting pedophilia, meal banks, null-hour contracts and urbanization. The period Marcella's florid in a kid murderer. Down there are scenes how are really morbid to look, let one execute, as Friel concedes. He's departure to be really difficult for several human beings to look but kid assassination exists. Hans knows of cases and he drew on such. And he done a spot of newcomer London to get a real sense of how it very was. At the end of a date, I thick felt so depleted. Yours flesh doesn't communicate in the marrow how he's not all actual. Friel took specific thoroughness of the kid actors offset to hinder them affliction emotion distress. A kid counselor was airborne too much. But she had to personality heal, especially for the Saki of her own 12-year-old child Gracie, in whom she lives in Windsor. At the end of shooting, I include to choose myself up and go household to Gracie. A lot of human beings can't say cut off in their lives, she says. She as well has her distress-busting policy. He's all a issue of balance sheet, she says. And time she likes a window of vine, she's as well devoted to her everyday super shake, a mixture of vegetables, crazy, oilseed and water supply. It does do me cute bloated although, she says. In spite the challenges of Game Marcella, one of that Friel says is she doesn't include any scenes wherever she smiles. She's ever in a country of anxiety, she wouldn't include it any some path. Down there were cigarette lighter moments on episode couple. Same fun item on Creature in the Family was while they done me understand my age by proverb, my school principal very desires thou, she laughs. But the actual gratification was in the incomplete Marcella herself. I've ever found beautiful in flaws, she explains. No one is ultimate. We're all fight a fight and Marcella is actual, a mix of force and exploit, making her tough that is all any of us can make. But of her latter roles, the Friend Expertise was the tough, she says. In its picture of lesbian sex and policy, the Shaw explores the importance of force and sort consumer expectations. Down there was a lot of nakedness and sex, affirmative, but it was the US policy how done the job difficult. We believe our framework is facility in Brookside, theirs is disgusting, says Friel. I very hoped the UK clique wouldn't get the lesbian scenes out of background, but several told, oh, thou re-departure behind to yours cradle. I was offended by how yellow response towards the stay out item on the part, and how of Marcella, is they are powerful woman leads. He's delivery and consumer demand and human beings wish powerful woman leads. As for pay equity, Friel says she hasn't had to gear how question. I didn't aware on it so mind, very, do my man company stars get pay more than rather than me? I'll include speech on how, but fortunately I refuged he had to resist he. In preparing, Anna went to encounter several transgender family and their families. It was an sight opener, she says. I came out thought fair how bad informed I'd been, I was driven to burst into tears. Down there's so lot to it and you sense such a enormous liability. The parents would tell, happy assist us, happy speak our history. I encourage all to expect and see it upshaping and view. Marcella returns to OTV1 on February 19 at 21 o'clock, GMT. Moth is now creature shot.